Yes, I can see that.
Yeah, so you import media. Sounds like you figured that out. It does a few things. So it's going to do an auto transcription for everything, any audio that's on those clips, and then the visual search. It's using again a local model to analyze frames across that clip and
Okay.
find objects or uh, yeah, it's basically object detection, but it's also doing like optical character recognition. So if there's
Mhm.
text visible on the screen, that should be searchable. And so all the import processing is done locally. There's no footage being uploaded anywhere.
Mhm.
And I'll kind of show you how that works. You're on the newest version I just sent you.
Yeah, I just went ahead and downloaded that and then just fired it up. I never had a chance to even. I think I downloaded the other one, but I never had a chance to even
Mess with
fire
it.
it up.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Cool.
you know,
Yeah.
December, January, kids moving. You
Yeah.
know,
You've been through it.
yeah, it's been a lot. We finally like getting kind of settled in, and then this of course is the slow time of year. So then it's like every day, 900 emails, phone calls, all that stuff is because
Yeah,
March
man.
is a big month. March is when like everything starts. You're in a hay wagon that's on fire going downhill, and the horses just broke away.
Yeah, and then it seems like all summer is crazy, and finally,
Yeah,
finally you get to Christmas time and people slow down again. But
yeah, we make probably 95% of our income between April and the end of October.
yeah, it makes sense. That's kind of what I've seen too. But
Hmm.
anyway, yeah, I can just show you. I don't know if anything's finished indexing for you, but
It
I've
has
unified.
it says 1,047 frames indexed, and then I was just able to open up the home, and it's spinning a little slow. I don't know if it's because it's trying to do two things. I mean, it's like I clicked on the home thing, and it's like it says indexing for visual search. So I'm assuming it's kind of like this process is pretty intensive, huh?
Yeah, so that's going to take a little bit depending on how much media you bring in.
Okay.
If it's a lot, I would recommend kind of doing it like an overnight process,
Okay.
if it's a bunch of material. Um, but I'll kind of just show you the search bar here. So I've unified
Yeah.
the search bar. It'll search across transcript and visual search tags. So I'll just put
Okay.
in this is always kind of fun to show. I know there's a piece of footage in my library right here. The guy's wearing a jersey with 45 on it. So I
Mm-hmm.
searched 45 and that comes up, which is cool.
Oh, that is
Um,
cool.
the You'll see there's a lot of like false matches here, and it's because it's doing its best to find 45 across your whole scope, all the media. So the search is scoped. If you click on one of these folders that you I don't know if you saw, but you can create folders underneath
Yeah.
your main folder and organize your footage that way. And then it's scoped. So if you clicked on one of these folders, it's only going to search within that folder, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Or you can click all assets to search across the whole library.
Okay.
Um,
As an organizational way to start, like me, I just all I did on mine was it said import, and I was like, okay, and then I went to my archive drive, and I just clicked on the archive drive, and I just said go.
so you
Just-
pointed it at everything,
yeah.
pretty
So
much.
is that
Yeah.
not the way to go about it? Should you go individually? Or do you need to?
Yeah, you can do it that way. That's probably going to take a long time, depending again on how
Okay.
much material you have. Um, and I'm kind of of two minds. I'm not sure, uh, what like the community will want. There you could totally do it that way and have the software like copy in your folder structure if you've already organized it like onto your
Hmm.
NAS.
Yeah.
Currently, it's not set up that way. Currently,
Okay.
you kind of have to like create the folder structure you want in Vindexr and then import
Oh, okay.
batches into those folders.
That
Um,
makes sense.
and I don't know, and you could that's some feedback that you can give me as you mess around with it. Maybe it's more useful to just point it at a entire archive and let it like, monitor that and pull things in. Um,
Right now, my thought is that because like I just have it and I already have an archive already started,
yeah,
and if this had been something that I'd be like, oh, this is going to take a while. So before, after the end of the workday, I'm just going to go and plug it into my entire archive and then just let it go and let it go for like 20 hours overnight or whatever,
right.
um, to catch up with everything. And then once you're caught up, then
Yeah,
you
then
just
then
add projects as you go.
right, any new imports would be faster. But
Yes, yeah, that would be. I didn't know. I figured it just, oh, it's going to just import everything as is.
yeah, it'll be all in one directory, which might be not the way you want to do it. So again, I don't know how much stuff you have that it's trying to import, but
Is
you
there a way
might,
to? It's imported everything now. It's indexing, and
yeah, you might kill it. You might have to like a force quit the program at that point.
okay,
And I would recommend just trying smaller chunks at a time at this point.
okay. Let
But
me just do that. I'm gonna do that real quick. Cause it didn't even have me. I just quit, and then it just like, okay, cool. Um, so let me reopen it, and then when I open, I'll go do one thing. Um, I'll do one of our little smaller projects. Now it's checking my license. Okay, so I'm going to import, and then I will do a small project. Now, okay, so the way I kind of do things is so I have like a folder in the folder. So we'll just say this one's Tammy Hickey, and then within the folder, I have like the 5 minute, like one because it's a 5 minute project. We're doing multiple projects, and then within the 5 minute folder, I have A cam assets, B roll, B cam, um, all that stuff. Do I want to take Tammy Hickey as a whole, and will it just kind of import the folder and with all the folders things, or do I want to do like create a new folder, Tammy Hickey, and then drag the sections in?
yeah, so at this point, you'd have to recreate that folder structure if you wanted to
Okay.
maintain that in Vindexr.
Okay.
But hearing you talk through that, it's probably a good case to for me to add both options, is what I'm thinking,
Mhm.
where you could create your own folder structure, but also because you've done the work of importing footage to your NAS or your drive, it sounds like,
Yeah.
and organizing it into folders. So to have to duplicate that work seems redundant. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's good feedback. I think I can
From
add
my
that.
point of view, it'd be a lot easier just to, and especially like, because when we break down a folder, so we have my main folder of the project. Then within the folder, I have like A roll, A cam, B cam, B roll, and
Yeah,
then you have an audio. I have an audio thing for one because we have separate audio, and
sure.
so I have all these things. It's like hierarchy within. Um,
In
the
your
thing just
project.
make it easier for me to see it and keep track of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, I'll have to look into adding that option, but that makes a lot of
Mhm.
sense not to have to duplicate folder structure.
Yeah.
Um, as you're messing with it though, yeah, you could, so when you're recording audio separate, are you also recording camera audio?
Oh yeah, 100%. As a matter of fact, I very rarely record audio separately because I mean, for these bigger projects, we're getting to that thing. A lot of our small projects are just like one person interviews, and so we have like I use Roads. So the Rode, Rode in records internally.
Hmm.
So I have a 32-bit float
Yeah.
file, but then I also have it plugged into my camera.
Okay.
So a lot of times I don't need to go and re-edit the separate.
Yeah.
I would keep it as a backup because
Right.
you just never know. Especially if it's like wireless, sometimes there might be like a
A dropout.
or
Yeah.
so if there's a dropout, then I have the audio backed up. I
Yeah.
haven't used it yet. Um,
That makes
so it's
sense.
not a.
And that makes it easier for this. You won't have to sync
Mhm.
your audio before you bring it in
Yeah.
to Vindexr. But yeah, I can show you. So I've got these pills, these tags here
Hmm.
under search. So if you search 45, it's going to show you all the results. It says there's 28. A lot of these are kind of like false positives. It's doing its best, and the top result um, at 70% confidence is this one. So
Okay.
that worked fairly nicely. Um, it searches file names, so you can filter these just by clicking on them. So there's a 45 in these file names apparently. Yeah, 45.
Oh, okay.
Uh, or there's a transcript filter. So um, it says there's one result here. If I double click on this, it jumps me down to where in the transcript 45 was said.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't think audio is probably going to pipe through here, but if you play this back, so as it's playing, the transcript is synced with the video player, if that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay. Hmm. So it makes it
There's
easy to
also,
find that exact clip or that moment.
yeah, so there's transcript search. You can search, um, you know, in the transcript, and that'll update as you're searching on that page. You can back out of that. So I'm going to back out to the search results.
Okay.
Semantic search is um, not really applicable in every instance, but it's like semantic is the concept of like um, it's so the it's kind of hard to explain. So the system will scan your frames for visual items, so like water or boat or things that it's seeing in
Hmm.
the footage, and it's building a library of those search terms. But you may not search for exactly what item it brought up. For example,
Hmm.
you might be wanting to find footage of a lake that you have in your library. Uh, but if it just tagged water, if it was a direct search, then that wouldn't come up. So semantic search kind of expands that and lets you search for, like we can search lake or water, and you'll get,
Okay.
results that are not necessarily an exact match. So boat.
Hmm.
And again, if you click into one of these, it'll try to find the best match within the length of the clip for
Hmm.
that search term. And it kind of shows you on a visual timeline where those closest matches hit. So here's a clip that's mostly just boating, but this is what it thinks are the the highest matches for the search term, if that makes sense.
Right.
Um,
And so it knows what water is.
yeah, it's
Okay. And it
identifying
knows what a boat
water,
is. It knows what a car is.
right? So
Okay.
trees, I shot a bunch of footage with my daughter. She's getting into photography, so I can search for camera. It's going to try to find all the shots of a camera. So like there's our
Oh,
Canon there.
wow. It's
Um,
cool that it picked that up. That's just like kind of sitting there, like not even in the
right.
main frame.
So it's not perfect, but like this frame, this is a false positive. Like I
Mhm.
don't think there's a camera in here. So something in there it thinks looks like a camera, but it's
I
just
wonder if
this
the
guy
light
driving a
hitting the
boat.
round part looks like the front of a lens or something.
Yeah, something. Um, but you can see how that could still be useful to
Hmm.
quickly find shots. Um, then I can show you too. So all that searching, all that processing is done on your local machine. You're using I guess an M series Mac?
Yes. I mean, this is a 2-year-old MacBook Pro.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Um,
it's a M1 M Max.
okay, cool. Um, yeah, so you can search your library that way. There's kind of two different friction points that I was hoping that this project would help solve. And the first one is search, and
Hmm.
hopefully you can see how that would be useful, transcript search, but also visual search. But the second issue is, you can find a clip, and that's one thing. Like Like if you're really good at logging, you might be able to easily find clips even without Vindexr.
Mhm.
But then you still have to like do the action of collecting clips, right? Like
Right.
you have all this footage and do you use DaVinci Resolve or Premiere?
Yeah. Maybe we use
Um,
Resolve.
yeah, so you have say you collect a bin of all this footage, you still have to like manually go in and like cut out the parts that you want, right? Like
Yes.
it's a process. And so um I've built into this, you can do there's a collection system. So if you're looking for a clip, you can scrub through and say you find something that you like. You just hit the I key for in
Hmm.
and out, O for out, and then the C key will add that chunk to a collection. So here's a collection that I've already got set up
Okay.
that I just added that to. And these clips are rearrangeable within a collection. So it's sort of like I mean, you could use it like an assembly edit. Like you could, if you're doing that on an interview, you could go through and find in and out points for the best sound bites in that interview.
Hmm.
And then see that the interface is blocking here, but you can play back that collection to get a quick preview, scrub through the
Oh,
clips.
that's cool.
Um, and then collections are saved over here in this sidebar. So you can scroll this down, and I've got a few collections I've already made in here. And then once you've created a collection, you can click on it here to see the whole collection again, and then send that to your edit
Oh,
software.
to Resolve. Okay.
Yeah. So what that does is it'll take all those time codes, all those. I can just show you. I got to open Resolve, but it's going to take all those in and out points and all that referenced media and put it in a bin in Resolve. It'll create a bin
Okay.
and then start a new project here. All right, send to Resolve. So it's going to say there's 11 edit points in this collection, and it will create a timeline. You, optionally, you wouldn't have to. And then we got a little success message, and then we go back to Resolve. So here's a bin that it created called Barn Shots,
Hmm.
and that's the clip that I just manually added, the boating one. But here's all the other media in that collection, and then the timeline with the
Sorry,
edits
we have
made.
a teenager, and the Chihuahua hates
Ugh.
everybody except for his mom.
Yep. So there's those edit points.
Okay.
If we go back to Vindexr, so that's kind of the manual way to do a
Right.
collection. Um, and then this is what I've been really saving a lot of time with. So like let's see this one. Here is a bunch of interviews that I shot.
Hmm.
They're varying in length. Some of them are like 10 minutes, some of them are 30 minutes or whatever. But it's all these guys talking about the lean manufacturing principles and how they use
Hmm.
those in their work. So super riveting stuff, right?
Yes.
Um,
We've had a
but
couple of riveting ones too.
yeah, but you know what that process is like to edit this stuff. Usually, like for this one, it's a couple hours worth of material, and I've got to cut it down to a 3 minute piece or whatever.
Hmm.
And so the process is you load all that in to Resolve, and you kind of you shot it, so you listen to it once already, and now you've got to like listen to all these interviews again and again to pick out the best sound bites and like try to form a structure, right?
Right.
Um, with this, so I'm going to just click into one of these interviews and this AI tab. So are you familiar with Claude?
Uh, a little bit. Vicky has just started um, using it a little bit.
So it's similar to ChatGPT, but this has a Claude API connection into Vindexr.
Okay.
And what's that allows now is I'm going to change the scope. So here there's a drop down for the current file. You could just use it on the
Hmm.
current file. But I'm going to change it to the current folder so you can see all the interviews in that folder.
Okay.
I'm going to leave it on transcript. You could change it to visual search, but for this purpose, The transcript search is what I want it to look at. And then I can query this however I want. So I've got all these interviews in here. I know generally what the topic is and what the video is I want to create. I'm just going to
Mm-hmm.
say, uh, create a collection of all the most interesting sound bites and arrange in good story structure. Um, the topic should be focused on lean principles, if I can spell. Okay. So I'll hit return there, and what it's doing is allowing Claude to now look at the transcripts for all those interviews. And Claude is using my prompt to analyze those and make a suggestion for the best collection or the best, yeah, best
Is
arrangement of clips.
Vindexr is Vindexr like making the transcripts as you go, or are you like because we kind of we've been experimenting with like you make the transcript, you export it,
Hmm.
you put it in Chat GPT. It's like help me make this out, and then it
Yeah,
does it. Then you do it, then you upload it back into DaVinci,
right.
and but Chat GPT always wants to rewrite everything, and it's like or it's going to take like little like snippets of the same of like multiple sentences and slap them all together, and then it's like trying to. But is this making its own transcript?
Yeah, so when you in as part of the import process, when you're importing all the media, it's automatically transcribing
Okay.
any audio that's on the clips. So
Okay.
so now it's gone through all that and it's giving you it says it found 27 selections based on my query.
Mm-hmm.
And it's arranged them here. So it's pulled this clip. It gives you a time code. Sorry, this text is a little bit small, but you can see
That's okay.
that.
I can read it.
Uh, and then there's a summary for each of these. So this is an opening definition of the 3S lean principles: sweep, sort, and standardize. So it's already trying to identify what would make a good like intro. Here's, and it goes through each of the 27 key moments that it found. Gives you a
Mm-hmm.
little summary down here, and then so you're talking about like manually transcribing interviews and sending them to ChatGPT and picking out parts. This is kind of automating that process
Okay.
and connecting it with your footage, right? So now um, at the bottom here, I can just create the collection. So again, we can go over here now. Here's the collection it just created. It's called Lean Principles, a Journey of Continuous Improvement. And here's all of those clips with text summaries um, that it pulled.
Oh, that's nice because you can see what's underneath that you can read what it's saying underneath it.
Yeah. And then you can play right here. You can play that whole collection if you want to play through it. You can skip through it. Um, and then again, you can rearrange if you wanted. So kind of a
Mm-hmm.
rough cut here if you wanted to rearrange that. And then
Okay.
again, just send it to resolve. Um, okay. So here's a new bin now and a new timeline. So all the media that it referenced, and then each of those cuts that it made to pull those segments.
Okay. And then at this stage, like, and this is just kind of like I'm trying to get things set in my head. So I would have the project and the timeline and all this, but then I could still bring in like my B-roll folder. I could bring in all that stuff like that. So when I have this part done, then I have my B-roll that I can start like filling gaps with. That's
Yeah, exactly.
okay.
Most of my projects are interview driven, so that's kind of the
Mhm.
backbone. So that's kind of where I start.
Okay.
And think of it like a lot of people see this or they hear about AI and they think, oh, I don't like that. Like I don't want AI doing all the creative work of editing. And
Okay.
I agree. Like I don't want that either. Like I feel like that's our job, right? Is to use our creativity to tell a good story and our expertise to do that. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
running out of time on my Zoom call.
That's okay.
Um, I might have to restart it, but think of it more of a search engine, right? Like you
Yeah.
you know what clips you want, and now like you've got these bins and timelines, and you can easily collect quickly whatever you want. So you're working on your edit and you lay out a rough cut,
Hmm.
and then you're like, oh, I remember so and so, was talking about XYZ, but I don't remember which clip or even which interview it was. So you can go back to your footage, you know, and
Hmm.
query again using this. You can say, you know, uh, whatever you
Okay.
want. Find all the parts where people introduce themselves. Maybe you're trying to, find all the titles for everybody.
Oh yeah. Okay. We have our Bruce, or the guy that got robbed by OJ. Our Bruce Fromong is that. I think this would be the perfect thing to experiment with because we have like 3.5 hours of video of him telling stories,
Yeah.
and we don't have investors yet on it. And so this is like we're just doing this on our own while trying to do our other projects and all this kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
It takes a ton
And
of time.
it's a ton of time, and our dream would be like to have 5 grand just to go and hey, here's 3.5 hours, turn this into a 3 to 5 minute sizzle reel hitting the highlights so that we can give this to investors to see if anyone's interested in putting money towards the story so we can do all the recreations and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I think this is like, especially just prompting it properly, we could start narrowing this down into that thing.
Yeah. And you can explore different different ideas or different concepts quickly, right? Like
You're right.
maybe you
Okay.
query it and say, hey, what's a I don't know. It's, I sort of like lose track of all the possibilities, but like you can query however you want, and
Right.
say find all the emotional, impactful
Yeah.
moments or whatever it is. But
Well, that's cool
so
because Vicky is when we do a lot of our editing, I'm the more of the technical side, and then Vicky comes and we do the transcripts, and then Vicky goes through the transcripts because she's really good at building that story out.
mhm.
So this would be like something pretty user friendly for her to will gather all the resources, and then she could literally sit through and read what it came up with and make changes or whatever, and then export in DaVinci for me to do the other parts.
Yeah, and I mean, she can do, a bunch of collections right here in Vindexr, never have to
Okay.
even leave the software, right? And then you can come in
Hmm.
and look at the collections or make your own or export which ones
Hmm.
you want. So I think it can be pretty useful. I'm going to show you one more thing here. So that
Okay.
kind of showed the AI transcription search, but there's a
Right.
mode here for visual search too. So switch this to visual. I'm going to change it to the current folder, and I'm going to just create a new inquiry here. So again, for B-roll search, you're trying to find specific visuals. You can search with those settings. You can search like find all the shots of a barn. So again, the finding is one thing, but collection takes time as well, right? So if you
Hmm.
can have it collect clips, we'll create a collection there with what it found. So here's all the barn shots, you know,
Okay.
and then again, send that to Resolve. You've got a bin now with the clipped out parts that it identified. So hopefully that helps
That's
kind of
pretty.
paint the
No,
picture.
that's pretty cool. Because a lot of our B-roll, we like to do our interviews first,
Hmm.
and then we take notes during the interviews to make a B-roll plan. So our
Yeah.
B-roll is very, specifically shot. Um, I come from newspapers. I don't like having too much stuff to sort through. I like to be, we're here, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. Here's a couple extra things on the sides that we thought were cool looking, but we might not use. But I'm not the guy that's gonna let the camera just
Shoot forever. Yeah.
run. So I have like 9 terabytes of, you know, 8K red raw just so I can
Yeah.
find somebody, squeezing a motorcycle grip. We're just gonna shoot the motorcycle grip for 15
Yeah.
seconds.
Just get what you
Move on.
need. Yeah. Yep. I
Exactly.
hear you. I hear you.
So then that'd be very easy because it'd be very easy to like I could literally queue it because instead of having to search all the things, I could just queue. Where's that motorcycle grip shot? Where's that, flower? Where's that sunset? Where's that,
Yep.
whatever? And then it can just go, here it is, blah, 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 and then just organize it for me.
Yeah.
Okay, that's super handy.
Yeah. I think, I mean, it's saving me a ton of time. I hope that it saves, that it helps other people too, because
Yeah.
for me, like I've been doing this a while and you get tired of, like, I was getting burned out, man. And I don't think
Hmm.
it was because of necessarily the editing. I like editing. It's
Hmm.
kind of this part of it where like,
Yeah.
I don't want to listen to the whole interview again. You know
No.
what I'm saying? Like if I can just
Yeah.
query it and pull out what I want
Hmm.
and it just helps speed up that process. So
Yeah. What we've learned is that editors are OCD, camera guys are ADD.
yeah,
And I'm very ADD. I have a very hard time. Like I love color grading. I love
yeah,
doing transitions. I love color grading. I love all that stuff. But the the I would rather go get my teeth pulled out of my head with no anesthesia than sit there and listen to like this Bruce Fromong. It's been sitting here just like
yeah,
because we have 3.5 hours of Bruce telling stories of him and OJ over 30 years of their friendship. And I'm
right.
like, I heard the stories. I don't want to go through it again.
Yeah.
So,
And
but we could.
there's
I'm gonna experiment with this over the next couple of days on specifically Bruce, the Bruce Fromong shoot.
yeah, man. Yeah, mess around and see how it goes and let me know what
Hmm.
you think and if you have ideas for improvements,
Yeah.
I'm all ears. So
The only thing I
I
think that would be handy is if you could import a file structure
yeah, yeah, I hear you there.
because
I'm gonna work on
I
that
don't.
and see if I can add that function. But
Yeah, because what I use is like my projects go on like while I'm working on the project, I just upload everything to a solid state drive.
yeah,
Um, and then because it's fast, because you can and then everything, even working off like the best NAS in the world and stuff like that, it's still gonna be like chunky. But
yeah,
running off of and then when I'm done with the whole project, then I
you
move
kind
the
of move
project.
that.
Yeah. So I think like initially for someone like me, like I have all this stuff I've already got. I want to archive it all and then be able to keep track of it. That would be handy that it starts like that. But then if I just take like, the folder that says Bruce Fromong and say import the whole folder and then
Yeah, and it maintains the subfolders.
yeah, that would to me that would be like just amazingly handy, you
All
know,
right.
at that point. But I'm gonna try this because I have a just one drive that's just Bruce. And so I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do that as just Bruce and then bring those all in on the way, each individual thing and create the structure so it's all there. But then I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna try that Claude or whatever
Yeah, yeah, try it out.
and just
And
say, and then I'll have my wife, she's the one that's more the brain, the mind thinking, like what the she wants the story to be. So I could have her start working on the prompts.
yeah, and experiment with that too. I've gone
Yeah.
on the website. I have a blog there that has I'll send you the link, but there's a few articles that I've written that have
Okay.
some good ideas for like how to prompt it and different things you
Okay.
can do that way. So it
Perfect.
looks
That's
like
awesome.
there's less than a minute left, so I think it might cut us off, but
Yeah, that's
feel
okay.
free to reach out anytime and we can
What
keep
I'll
talking.
do is we got a bunch of stuff going on today and tomorrow and then Saturday. And then but I'll start like maybe Sunday. My wife and I can start playing with the Bruce Fromong thing.
Yeah,
And I'll get that all set up. And then we'll kind of start running with it. And then I'll let you know like, midweek and like where we ended up with that.
yeah, awesome. Love to hear about it. So
All right. Well, this is gonna be
thanks,
cool. I'm
Mark.
excited.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.